do right here is go back. What we're gonna do right here is go back. Go back, go back, back, go back, go back, back, go back, go back, back. Way back.
Alright, and welcome back to another Kuma Style review. I'm your host TJ Duckett, and what we have today is FansToys Quake Wave, which is their homage to the G1 Transformers character, Shockwave. Normally, we go ahead and do the out-of-the-box section first, where we look over the box, of course, but this is actually a review copy, and I did not get an actual retail box. However, this is a final release version, so it's not a prototype or anything like that, so don't be worried. What you're seeing here is what you're going to get. And at the same time, since we don't have the box to go over, that means we can dig straight into the character. So before we even go any farther, I'll go ahead and give you guys some measurements, since this is a masterpiece character, and I know scale is really important to people. Alright? It is just under 9 inches. I would say, just to be safe, 8 1/4, 8 3/4 actually. And in terms of how he scales with the masterpiece line, here is Optimus Prime, the MP10 mold, as well as get Laserbeak off of his back, the recent released MP-13 Soundwave. So you can see here, he scales very well actually with the Hasbro Takara masterpiece line, which is really nice. And his look, he's always been even though he's Cybertronian, a bit of a different aesthetic than most Transformers. In the G1 cartoon, a lot of them were a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more sleek than their toys, whereas Shockwave, to me personally, he even in the cartoon had a more boxy brick-like look. It's almost like it was synonymous with his toy rather than trying to make it more streamlined like the other characters and things like that. But you'll see, symmetry-wise, everything's pretty even down the middle, besides the cord here, as well as, the cannon being on one arm as well. And he does have some shape to him. Even though he's got the backpack in the back, his silhouette, he's still got a little bit of slimness to the waist and things like that, so it doesn't look like a big articulated brick, which I really do enjoy. Now, the shade of purple here, he is very, very purple. Some people would have preferred them going a little bit more dark with the shade of purple, but at the same time, it's nice, and it's a nice bright coat. I enjoy that he matches both, Hasbro and Takara masterpieces with this color and things like that. So it's definitely not bad. FansToys apparently will be releasing just opaque, normal colored, I don't know if it's going to be a hand and blaster. I believe it's just a hand. But a solid color rather than the clear here. Personally, I really like the way the clear looks, but at the same time, clear plastic is kind of iffy in general, and I'd like to play it a little bit more safe. So I know I'm going to go ahead and replace this as soon as I get the solid hand. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure all around. And a nice amount of detail to him. Not overly detailed. Okay? And these calf pieces here, as well as his feet, are die cast. Really nice feel to them. And I love that it helps, balance them out a bit too. It's part of why I like, Shigoken toys and things like that, because of that die cast, specifically in the lower body. So when they have heavier upper bodies, like this has a backpack and stuff like that, it helps balance them out. Okay. Yeah. And even though it's more for the transformation than anything, you can go ahead and remove the backpack if you just plain like it better. So we'll go ahead and take the backpack off so you can see how he looks without it. There's that, and you just flip the tail up. And yeah, gives him a little bit better of a silhouette and things like that. It's not huge, but it definitely does make a difference. So, if you prefer that, you can definitely go for it. But the backpack, you know, especially G1 toy wise, pretty accurate, and it just pops on, and boom, it's a cinch. All right. And one thing I do like is that this tailpiece in the back, which also varies as a viewfinder for his alt mode, you know, it is movable here, so that when you have the backpack on, you could still have that waist movement. You know, that kind of deal. Really cool. So speaking of movement, let's go ahead and look at the articulation of him. The head here, definitely on a ball joint here at the neck, so it does have some up-down movement. I really like the upward movement that it has. Full 360 rotation in terms of swivel there. Okay. Now the shoulders, up, down. Hear those ratchets? Just nice. And that is die cast in there too. That's the good stuff. Alright, bicep swivel. Ooh, double jointed shoulders. Me likey. Okay. We already went over the waist articulation, just basic waist swivel. Now the hand cannon is a hand cannon that ain't going nowhere. But the hand, it does have some movement here. It's not on a ball joint, but it can rotate around. The thumb here, we actually zoom in, focus. The thumb can move up and down, like so. And each of the fingers is individually articulated. I know a lot of people love this. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of individually articulated fingers, just because they can become so finicky in terms of popping off and stuff. But this one so far has seemed pretty solid. You know, go ahead and make a fist here. And they're nice and tight too. Alright, so looking below the waist, nice ratcheting joints there, all around movement there in the thigh. He does definitely have thigh swivel. He has swivel below the knee too. Alright, now his knees, full bend there, no double joint, but you know, you don't really need it when it goes back that far. Alright. And then the feet. Alright, he does have movement here in the front of the foot itself, the toe area, as well as rocking ankles. So you've got a lot of support there, as well as a good amount of space from the front to the back of the foot. So let's go ahead. He does have these moving skirts too, so when you do move the feet to the side, or the thighs, you're not going to get a lot of a problem. So let's go ahead and see how easy it is just to move them and put them in a pose with confidence. I like this quite a bit. Quite a bit. I mean, it's pretty expected with a Masterpiece style toy, but at the same time, it's still nice to see. So let's go ahead and I'm going to move the camera back so you can check out super cool pose. Good old Trans Fan 2 style. Blasting the camera. And yeah, there we go, you know. That is going to be Quake Wave. Now let's go ahead, get him transformed, and check out his alternate mode. Very quickly, I do have to go ahead and touch on the gimmick here. He has two light up gimmicks. One is here in the gun. He has a switch on the underside here. Zoom in. You can see it right there. As well as on the back of the head. And you can see that switch right here. Both his eye and his gun can light up. Unfortunately, for the arm, it takes a CR1025 battery, and for the head, it takes a CR1020. Between, you know, Targets, Walmarts, CVS, and even Radio Shacks here in town, nobody had these battery types here in stock. And I wasn't provided one, you know, when I got the figure. But at the same time, be wary that you'll need these, and if you've got them, you know, on pre-order or anything like that, go ahead and buy those batteries in advance or order them, you know, online and stuff, because I saw plenty of places like Amazon, batteries, this.com, batteries, that.com that sell them, but that's something you're going to need to know in advance. I don't know if that information has been provided to the public, but, you know, in case these don't, for the mass release, come with batteries, know that for the arm, once again, that's a CR 1025 battery. For the head, it's a CR 1020. So go ahead and order those now. They're like $2 a piece, you know. So get them before you get the figure, so you have them ready to just go ahead and pop in. So anyway, I just wanted to go over the gimmicks. I'm sorry that, you know, I can't go ahead and show them off because I really want to check them out myself. But, you know, stores have what they have. Anyways, moving on to the alt mode now. Alright, and let's get things headed towards the alt mode, the gun, starting with the transformation here. So, we're going to go ahead and start by removing that backpack, which is as simple as going ahead and pulling that up and just sliding it right out. It locks into place pretty good, but it comes out pretty easy too. I read online about there being some problems with that and removing the backpack or something. Honestly, I have not had any, so I guess your mileage may vary with that one, but you saw it slides out pretty easy there. But we're moving on here, and with the fist, zooming in so you can see what I'm doing with the fingers. You're just taking the thumb down. You're basically making a fist. So thumb down, you know, pretty common with most Transformers. So you got to go ahead and get that flap down though. For me, since I don't really feel like stressing, I'm just going to go ahead and do it like that. Okay. And there's that part. Okay. Now, moving on here, I'm just taking this, the arms, putting them out like so. From there, I can take the chest here. There are two little flaps on the side. And the chest will actually come down like so. Then I can push the head in. And boom, there's that. Alright? Now you've got a headless sound wave, which is more than fine. Alright? So now we're just taking these arms. We're flipping them up like so. Let me actually get up some there. Alright? And from there, we're just taking the arms, flipping them the other way. So like so. Like so. And just making sure they're in as far as possible. So you definitely got that there. Alright, there are some clips here. You can see. Let me zoom in some pegs right there. You just take those, and since you got them lined up, they just peg in together really easy. Alright? So, next. Alright. The instructions is going to tell you that the next step is removing the backpack, but I go ahead and do that first thing because it gets removed. You know it gets removed. So, alright, and just make sure that that's flat down. Awesome, we're doing great. We just need to make sure this is flush and that flipped out. Okay? Now we're going to move down towards the legs. Alright. Just taking a look at those like so. And we're just taking the feet, pulling them down, flipping them in. Okay? And I love this thing's feet. I really do. Really, truly do. Okay? Alright, so now we've got these two flaps right here. Flip up. And then we can take these and flip them out. Okay? See what I'm doing? Flipping them up. Kind of like leg wings or something like that. But from there, you can actually take those, flip them all the way around back. Okay. And what we're going to do from there is just go ahead and flip the legs around to the front actually. So we're going to take the whole thing and turn them around like so. Alright. Then just make sure that these are flipped outwards. Take the whole thing, flip it out like so. Okay? Make sure that the thighs are facing the same direction. Alright, so you got something like that, okay? And you can see the handle starting to form there, which is awesome. So now, everything just pegs together. And it's a nice natural fit too. Didn't mean to move the camera there. Okay? So from there, we just take this whole thing, and we're going to push it down. I'm going to make sure my thighs are moved in here. It's locked. Okay, so there's that. Push that in. Alright. Now, we make sure that these two flaps on the back of the legs are out. We're going to take that part by its butt, and flip that backwards. Okay? Alright, so now we're actually done with the majority of the gun part here. And we are going to move to the... Oops, didn't mean to knock it over there, but it was balancing on that guy. We're going to move to the backpack after one more thing with the handle. So, there is a flap underneath here that we're going to have to move out. So I'm just taking a razor. And it's just making sure to slide under there and get a good grip. Okay. Make sure to get it on both sides so that you don't tear up the plastic or anything like that. I need a little bit more here. Okay. And these just lock into place. Making sure that I've gotten everything aligned right. And boom, there we go. Okay? So you can see now we've got that flap down there done. Alright. So from here, what we are going to do is transform the backpack, which isn't too bad. Alright, so everything just folds in half, and you basically are just flipping it around. Nothing too crazy at all. Alright, we're taking this piece right here and putting it out. Alright, so from there, we can take this and actually slide the missile over, or the arm cannon, and this is where we start to slide the gun, or the shield on, backpack. Alright, let me go ahead and get some light on here. There's actually a peg underneath here that's going to peg into the top of this gun. So let me zoom into that. There you go. So we're just taking that and pegging it on. Alright. And see how everything kind of clips, slides into place. There we go. It's not the most tight fit, so don't expect that. But once you got it, there you go. Zooming out here, and we have Shockwave, or Quake Wave, in its cannon form. Alright? So there's the transformation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gun itself. Alright, and here we actually have the alt mode for Quake Wave, which is the, actual G1 Cybertronian gun mode. And you can see here, it looks fantastic. I love it. I do have fairly big hands, and, a lot like Toy World's Hegemon, I respect the fact that this toy is made with an alt mode that has bigger hands in mind as well. This is very comfortable. For me personally, since my palms are a bit bigger, I can stand for the actual handle to be a bit longer, but in my hand it actually feels comfortable. It doesn't look small, by any means, even in my hands and things like that. Yeah, it's just awesome. Alright, and even though it is a Cybertronian mode, it's very cohesive. You just don't have pieces of robot kibble hanging out and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Now, one thing I do like is that even though I don't have the batteries to make it work, you can still, just flip the switch and have a light up here in the alt mode as well. So that's pretty cool too. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Give you another look at that, how it looks here in hand, and yeah, I enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I hate about, alt modes that are guns in general are that you can't really display them. But at the same time, if you did get a couple of stands and got creative in the actual G1 show, I like that he literally turned into a giant gun. He wasn't like a mass shifter or anything like that like Megatron was. So, even if you displayed him just floating in the air, shooting at another Transformer, whether it be Autobot, Decepticon, whoever you have them feel like blasting, yeah, it's just really cool, and I really enjoy this alt mode. I actually wish I had 2 of them, so that I could just keep one in gun mode and play around with at my desk. But anyway, yeah, there you go. This is Quake Wave's alt mode. Alright, so final thoughts on this bad boy. Once again, FansToys FT-02 Quake Wave. They're homage to Shockwave. Awesome figure, I'm not gonna lie. It looks so slavishly G1 that when I saw initial pictures and things like that had been being posted and stuff like that for a while, props to them for keeping us updated during the whole process, but it can be kind of scared, because when you see something so, I guess, accurate to a less posable G1 toy, you get kind of scared that that's going to lack this posability and stuff like that too. So that, had me bothered, but at the same time, once I got him here in hand, the thing is opposing just dream, Very fun toy. The scale of him, like you guys saw, very well with the current Hasbro Takara Masterpiece line. And yeah, overall, between the look, the posability, I'd say a great transformation process, very simple, very fluid and things like that. And an awesome alt mode. I actually enjoy the gun mode and plan on buying a second just to keep in alt mode. Shockwave's one of my favorite characters, so I guess I come with a bias, but at the same time, that bias makes me want, the best Shockwave figure possible. And right now, this is the best Shockwave figure ever made, by far. So if you're a fan of Shockwave, buy it. If you're a fan of Masterpiece style Transformers, buy it. If you're a fan of cool robot action figures, buy it. Cool, robotic guns, buy it. I think this thing appeals to so many collectors on so many different planes that it's just one of those things to where if you're watching this video, since it's a third-party Transformer, you probably had some interest in it anyway. And I'm going to just tell you straight out, it's definitely worth your money. This wasn't sent to me by a retailer or anything like that. This is just mine to review and give my thoughts on. And, completely unbiased opinion, I would recommend it to anybody. So anyways, this has been another Kuma Style review. Thank you, FansToys, for going ahead and providing this figure for me to go ahead and take a look over. And yeah, thank you guys as well for watching. I'll see you next review. Later.